Hello and welcome to another open source live code hangout. Today we're working on the Western Friend project. We have been working previously to write unit tests and get some automated test coverage analysis in a continuous integration pipeline. Today I have a little bit of an idea about how we can get some of our management command code to appear to the coverage analysis tool. Right now it's kind of hidden because the Django framework isn't running these management commands at runtime. And so this code isn't really imported anywhere. It's just kind of hidden inside of this handler function. I think if I move it outside of the handler function and import it into this file, that might make it visible to our test coverage framework. Before we get started with that idea, I'd like to highlight and review some community contributions. For context, being an open source project, I'm keeping an open backlog of issues that I need to fix or ideas for improvement. When we've enabled these automated code analysis tools, they've highlighted some important improvements that we need to make. In particular, the deep source analysis tool is pointing out some code smells, quality, and security issues that are good to improve. So I've gone through and actually opened up a bunch of issues from deep source. A lot of these are good first issues and definitely would appreciate some help with them. They can be just renaming variables or refactoring code just slightly, not really big feature enhancements or anything like that. So I think they're very, very digestible. You can just take an issue and fix it type of thing. And I just opened these yesterday and right away we got several responses. So I'll work through these in reverse chronological order. So the first one we got a response from Victorious Surwandi from Indonesia. And they opened a pull request that closes issue number 656. We'll go ahead and review this. Let's take a quick look at the context. We're using the pass statement unnecessarily, and we can just remove it. And deep source just links to all the code that needs to be changed. Right there, you get the line of code in the file and everything. So it's very helpful, and it explains the issue with clear examples. It's such a cool tool. And since this was a kind of a bite-sized issue, Victorious went ahead and opened a pull request right away, removing the lines of code. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I see that. That's maybe a strategic decision. Okay, well, I think for completeness, let's just go ahead and do all 4 of them. We got CiviCRM addresses and CiviCRM clerk relationships. And what we're missing are these 2. Import CiviCRM relationships. I think it's just a small oversight. We've got changes requested there. And this test coverage, I tried to get deep source test coverage here, but it's having issues, timeout, so I don't know. Okay, we'll mark this one as done, as being reviewed. And we'll come back to my issue later. Necessary pass statement, so this is the issue that we were just looking at. Here's an issue, one line doc string should fit in one line with quotes. Another low-hanging fruit. Yes, that's very cool. Victor wants to take that one. Oops. Okay, so that's quick. On here we have a pull request relating to 648. Alright, and what I'll do is just edit this really quick and use a small keyword, 648, so that GitHub can automatically link these pull requests. Resolves that before. It had a nested if statement and then just consolidated them. That's a nice little summary too. How did they do that? Let's see. Let me just check this out. Yeah. Oh, and a diff. I've never seen a tag. That's really clever. Really cool use of markdown. Okay, cool. And just for good form, I'm going to open up the issue and make sure we've got a proper assignment. Yeah, there we go. It's good. So we know who's working on what. We don't step on each other's toes. Pretty straightforward change. I'll have to remember that diff highlighting. It does what it says on the tin. One less level of nesting. We don't have pre-commit running. That would have fixed the lint issue. It's annoying. Well, it's part of development that you lint the code. How do you even spell that? It's probably telling me British English. So that's a little bit of request changes. you know, it's not a big deal, but it is part of the pull request review. That we look at these levels, and automated linting is important so that the reviewer doesn't have to think about that. But as a first-time contributor, you know, we can let that slide. It is good to learn to use the linters, and it's just kind of a baseline requirement for many development teams. All right, we'll come back to that one. Swing back around to that one. Yep, and it looks like we've got a request to work on that one. Add a little emoji there. And a comment. Very cool. It's got the description. Everything came from deep source. We've got a pull request, and I think it's relating to 660. So if I check the names are the same, and we'll go ahead and claim it for them. They sort of fixed the work before claiming it, but that's all right. I'm not going to be too pedantic here. All right, so moving blank lines is pretty much a linting thing. Looks good to me. Let me check the Sonar Cloud's good, but the deep source test coverage. What is failing here? Alright, I'll have to. Not sure what to do with that now. I've enabled it, and now it's causing CI to break. Probably just disable the deep source test coverage. It just doesn't say much, does it? And I'll just double check real quick. It's got eight occurrences. Probably a couple of them in one file. Yeah. Looks good. Approve it. Merge. Pull request. Confirm merge. I'll go ahead and disable the they almost got the keyword. It's just a bit of unfortunate. Oh, a big bump in it. I went back down. Interesting. Deep source. Here's a good try. Deep source has its own niche. I think CodeCov is the best code coverage analysis tool. So pretty much running back to that one. Right here. Okay. Checking the chat over there. That's mine. But it looks good. Okay, so that was running through the Okay, so we've gone through all the community contributions and claimed issues. Pretty cool. Just opened those yesterday and flagged them as good for first issue and help wanted, and somehow people are picking up on those. I'd like to know more about how people find the project. One other thing I need to do is add a attribution to our README for that new contributor. So actually I need to go back. This one here. Here we go. I have a little prefab. Or code. Very cool. And now we have a new contributor here. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to try my little idea here. If I move these files around, I push, I push the branch up to GitHub, let our coverage runner analyze them. I think we should start to see some issues here. So let me just try it with one, just to even see if this is a good idea. Import events is a good start. It's right here. Essentially what I want to do, instead of, I want to make a subdirectory called handlers. Handlers slash following the same conventions, and take everything out here. So the only thing that would be necessarily an argument would be this. We'll grab ports. Ah, yeah, so then I need... good. Just add these annotations. That's kind of it. I think. Well, what else do you need here? Parser. Command parser. I guess that's what you do. Management has an init py. Handlers is init py. Why is it not finding these? Yeah, okay. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Then it just returns none or something. Oh. Coming to main. Yikes. yeah, that makes sense. It's a copy and paste error, essentially. So let's create a branch. Good thing I wasn't able to commit. One error, something about the undefined name self. Oh, this is line 55, import event handler. 55. So I caught it twice. Good. Same issue. I will publish branch, and let's check the code coverage to see if it's if anything changes. I think by adding this import statement, we might get some test coverage and analysis. Otherwise, the other strategy is to write a test that runs the management command, and then the code coverage will know to look inside of that command file and check the coverage on all the lines. So I'll come over here. This is another issue I've opened. Not relevant right now. And we've got a new branch, and I'll create a draft pull request. Then we have some test and coverage runner that's queued up. Let's watch this. There we go. In progress. Oh, you know, actually, I don't have to do that. I can just run. The shortcuts are for reload and brave. It's usually control command R. Yes. Okay. Code Climate's picking up on some stuff. That's good. I haven't analyzed any of this code. It's been kind of hidden to the analyzers until this point, and it is a God function. It does everything in one function, as you can see. And oops, this file, which actually this is not so bad. Some of the others are a lot worse. So we'll be working to decompose these, add unit tests. It just starts with visibility, making it visible. Now, apparently, let's see, we should get a comment about test coverage, regardless of whether or not it's able to see. Now, it should see the fact that we're changing this file here. We've got a delta, and no tests are covering that delta. I'm curious to see how this shakes out. It's a bit slow waiting for code cov. The coverage has been uploaded though. You know, maybe being a little bit impatient. So we got our tests running. And I think then we'll run 2 more commands. Or 1 more. I think it's like coverage HTML. Then I can run a Python server, so that's the second command. And then view and browse the coverage. It's the same thing that basically CodeCov gets, but in a human readable format. There is a little bit of a squiggle. What was this saying? Yeah, this should just be a string. I will be adding typo annotations as we go. They're very helpful. Okay, what's this? Yeah, nothing. Okay, while we're waiting, let's just do a little bit more. One more little reload here. Well, it's nice to see the cognitive complexity score come back. Nonetheless. Alright, there we go. We've got a little... All the tests ran. I think it's just coverage HTML. I'll run this HTTP server. Copy the URL. And look for our new little file here, import events handler. Well, there's a way to force it. Well, another way to force it would just be to write a basic test. I don't mind doing that. Let's put it right here. Something like that. Let's see if I can get some help from Copilot. Yeah, I was figuring what that is from geotest import that. Okay. That was actually the right one. We'll do that for now. And keep the database this time. We'll just get... Oh, you know what? Did I just... I've imported, I wonder... Should I just run this specific one? Then I don't need to worry about the keep DB yet. I just need to get it to see this file that's being imported at the least. Maybe I can make an assertion that it's a function, assert type is function. 0 tests. Alright, then we'll try this. Handler. Come on, I hope this works. Oh, got typos. Yeah, okay. I don't know, those are the original ones. Oh, you know why? Nope, that was not why, but it's nonetheless there. There we go. At least we got that. I don't know why this one folder wasn't working. Knit pie was spelled wrong. I really don't know. I don't care that much. Alright, so we got one test and it failed because my imports were wrong. Ah, man. Oh, wait. Right. I'm just a simple guy. Yes. One was given. Self. Again, just little details. Easy mistakes. Don't have it in my muscle memory. Not a big deal. Wish I would pass. Then I run the coverage. And hopefully just by virtue of having this import there, it'll work, but otherwise I can just check that it's oh my gosh. Try that. Alright, so now I'm gonna run this. Same command, basically. Then we'll run the coverage report. Hopefully it'll just actually contain one file. More or less. Alright, didn't it's covering the whole thing, so then what we're gonna look for is yes. Yes. Okay, so this approach will work. I'm going to repeat this and get all of these handlers visible to the test suite. I'll break it down in stages. So the first stage is to move the handler code and just make sure everything lines up. Second stage is to add these little tests with this boilerplate here. And then coverage is going to drop, but it's hidden right now, so it's actually, our coverage is falsely positive, falsely high. All right, let's break it down. So I've got this test convention. Let's start from the top. Import archive articles. Write that file there. And then import archive articles handler. Need everything here except that, and then this is only going to need the base command. The rest of it is going to come down here. Correct, but I'm going to copy and paste it to avoid any sort of hallucinations. Somehow it... Oh yeah, it just has unnecessary indentation. And then one more import. Excuse me. Oh, I forgot the multi-stream chat. Turn to none. Still don't quite understand why these are white. It's like any. Well, this is a little bit... That's incorrect. Can I just do this and get it off my... That's not correct, though. Literally, it's a dictionary. Or stir. I told it was that. This is probably the Django stubs. I had to remove that because it was acting up. I probably was missing Django stubs. have to do that. I mean, that's a bit annoying. See what I'm trying to ignore that way a little bit better. Okay, now I think I should just go through and split all these out first in that mindset. What's my convention here? That's the only one. It's cool though. what we can do is add that to our PyProject YAML and then freeze the dependencies. I don't know why that's in the requirements file or how to get out of it. So yeah, switching to pip is not without complexities. It's not in it, it's just that the generated one contains it. working better. What we're going to do is get this file name. Preemptively ignore that. Okay, and then we'll scroll all the way down. Buddy. And handle. Import that. Make sure I understand that correctly. Could just be a meeting, but okay, I see. Yeah, it's a meeting. That makes sense. So let's be more specific. It's a bit redundant. I do it just to temporarily hold the value. I'm refactoring these. Cool, improving type safety along the way. Hey, what's up, Dota? How are you doing today? Welcome back to the stream. Let's see, import. Improving test coverage. Not super exciting, but I don't know, you know, coding is not like a contact sport or something like that. Although it feels like it sometimes. Okay. Let's see. New file. Okay, yeah, what kind of stock data are you working with and where do you get it from? I've been curious about where to get a corpus of historic stock prices, like, I don't know, even weekly. Daily would be cool with like the, what do they call it? The min max, opening close, min max. Well, I forget the acronym for that. OC something. But yeah, where do you work with your stock data? I've got an idea, a thesis, a hypothesis I want to test out on some historic data based on natural distributions. Seeing if you can kind of use that as a predictive measure for stock values. Yearly might be good for my little hypothesis as well. Quarterly, yeah. What kind of tests are you running on it? Are you financial model prep? All right, cool. So grab our imports, remove that. Then the other side of it, we'll remove the unneeded imports here. I think this comment is actually useful now. In this file, and we need this command parser. Command parser. Don't need these. Sorting by different accounting ratios. Grabbing it from R2000. Small cap index. Okay. Grab these person. And then are you parsing it in Python or something like that? The entire US market. Ooh, cool. Yeah, it seems like there should be just like an open source data set on historic stock values. It's just floating out there like a big CSV or something. I mean, it seems weird to have to like, to not have that information available publicly. These are like usually publicly traded companies. Probably is somewhere, But I did some searching and I was like, what the heck? Why can't I find this? All right, file name. I guess it would be a lot of data, but you know, daily values for 10 years for, like, let's say 500 companies. It's not like, well, it's for, I mean, yeah, it's getting pretty big. I don't know the math there, but. Yeah, it's not easily ingestible. Yeah, so I was kind of thinking, like, why don't we just have something like in a Parquet file or CSV if it would fit memory? It's just publicly available. Seems like that should exist. Let's see. Let me just get this real quick. File name. And then we'll go all the way down to the bottom. This magic mouse is a bit clunky. It's magic. Magic mouse. It's not so magic, it's kind of crappy. Can't even charge it while you're using it. That's one of the weird surprising things that Apple's design. And tuple. String, and then days return none. Nune. Oh, did I mess that one up? No. None. For the first production hotfix on Friday. Okay, very cool. Nice. Was that, and on a Friday of all times to do it? How often are you deploying? Oh yeah, okay. All right, sounds like you're not moving fast enough if that's your first one in a year. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, they're a bit nail biters. What did you have to do? So you did a hotfix, so you couldn't. Did you have to roll back the deployment, fix it, and redeploy, or did you just commit, merge, main, deploy? What's your kind of strategy for handling those? Okay, so we're gonna get a function called handle import. I'll add my annotations in a minute. That's back. String. Okay, so the DevOps handle it. All right, that's good teamwork, but they don't sort of make their abstractions leak into the development process. That's one of the problem with DevOps, I think, is the desire to make developers have, you know, awareness and responsibility for a lot of the operational concerns. It's like feel our pain, kind of a mentality. I know it's painful, and there are things that occur in like operational code that you don't have in your development environment, but I don't think we should leak those abstractions across boundaries, and particularly into the development environment, which is already unstable enough, especially if you're working with languages like JavaScript or something, where you're already battling your own tools and into battle infrastructure that's not really relevant at that exact time. Yeah, it just adds more complexity. Even in this Django project, I've had to add complexity to use certain features in Postgres, but I'm not going to bring in the whole stack, the deployment stack here, so that I can make sure it's going to operate properly. But if you have DevOps working as a team and sort of able to handle their own kind of concerns and maybe even review each other's work a bit, that's can be maybe a harmonious relationship. JavaScript hotfix. Okay, so your backend's in C#. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so it's part of your job that, so it's, I think, in a way, a leaking abstraction, but if it's required just because, but if there's like, you know, some kind of meaningful, like the introduction of Postgres database here, because the code is literally calling Postgres features, so then I need to have that as part of my worldview. Otherwise, the database would ideally be abstracted from me, and I could just work here in development and making ORM calls and things. Are y'all using a backend framework or anything like that? Okay, let's see. I got some print statements here. This is kind of weird. What's going on here? I haven't even visited this code in a while. Try catches are no longer new. I just need my type annotations. Looking for the squiggles. Relationship are essentially strings at this point. These are dictionaries, I guess. Yeah, dictionaries. To dict. I believe this is a string because we were running split. Alright, just add my little type annotations. Net is kind of nice. It stayed around for 10 plus years. Yeah, it can be good to work with things that have been around and are a bit mature. Be a double-edged sword. But like that's why I'm writing here Python and Django code, because Django's been around for a while. It's still evolving, and there is some legacy stuff, but I haven't found any of that to be like obstructing. And honestly, I'm using the main, like every main part of the Django framework, at least to my knowledge. Like the ORM, the template language, the routing, a little bit of the views. I haven't with Wagtail. I don't have to use the views so much, but MTV, I'm using all of those major components, and then interacting with a SQL database. Okay, I think we're like good to go. I don't see many more squiggles. The only other thing is just to call this. What is it? Oh yeah. Well, what are we returning here? Dict string. Maybe it can give me a little string integer. Oh yeah. Okay. Take it. This is where we may still need pandas, unfortunately. I'll rewrite this code. I haven't worked with these importers in a while. Now we're using Drupal IDs for everything, and I can use just database lookups. This has probably changed pretty significantly. My main idea here is just to get this refactored so the code is visible, and then I'll work through it in the coming weeks. Hopefully I won't spend too much time refactoring these importers, because through the month of June and July, I'm really trying to get down to deployment. What does this return? Integer. So this is where, do we capture it as an integer, I suppose? Yeah, oh no, we cast it to an integer, of course. Oh, the CBCRM, I'm not using pandas here, but the CBCRM, I've had to do some string parsing and casting, so that's probably going to stay around now that I think about it. If this whole clerk relationships, yep, that'll still be necessary. Pretty sure. I'll ask if we're going to continue this. Unless my job here is not to second guess all my code, it's just to refactor. Yeah, I haven't worked much with .NET, but so like it's basically you're using an MVC framework in .NET. And we'll import this. grab the name. That's what I was looking. This is a bigger one. You can see the importance of unit testing in this code, y'all. Import that. Yep, with the front end. JavaScript front end. Okay, cool. Probably React. Is it, what kind of JavaScript? Do you have to work much with the front end code? Or you, let me guess, are you using Angular? Oh, dang it. I do. You had already, sorry, you had already responded there, but all of it except DevOps. Very cool. So you're wearing many hats. That's can be quite complicated. Especially with JavaScript, it can already eat up all your bandwidth and mind share or whatever. All right, we're gonna do the same process here. Rinse and repeat. Only, if, you know, a few more times, about 10 more times. Let me grab a little bit of water. I'll be right back. So step 1, create the handler, import something, say handler. Okay. All of this jumping around is just so I can get my test coverage. There was probably an easier way of doing it. Anyway, it's trade-offs. So I've got this code, and let's grab everything up here. These are pretty heavy. This magic mouse is pain. It took us. Come on, magic mouse. And here we go. Deleting something. Let's delete that anyway. Delete that. Delete. Just straight down, Magic Mouse. Straight down. Straight down. Well, I guess I can just give up my thoughts on it going straight down the page. Command parser. All of that. Just returnals. Command parser there. Return is none. That's good. And we'll add some nice little somethings here. Hey, can you do it for me, the whole thing? No. To pay, we'll return it to pay. Here, we need an extra E, and with a little cute over there is in a grave. Next, file. File name is that. File name here. Then we will just, I should just start using Vim key bindings. That's a lot better. Just start using Vim. At least the key bindings, or just regular. Those aren't even Vim key bindings. Well, let's see. Refactoring the tests too. Okay, use a fake database. Hey, that's a good idea. Or at least factories or mock. Yeah, fake database, huh? So you're gonna, why not SQL dump? Why CSV? Is a SQL dump to, why not use a factory method so you'll generate data instead of using production or some kind of production data in your tests? Docker version doesn't have that. Okay, I don't have these like experience with these proprietary crap where you have just some features not available to you. I'm using Postgres SQL for the win. PostgreSQL for the win. All right, where are we at? Now we're gonna go down here, scrolly. Def. Let's see if Copilot even knows what I'm talking about. Hamdel. CC. Come on. I think that's the pattern. It's a stir. And returnals Milton. I have something kind of like a syntax error here. And if I didn't this one, then save, everybody else is like, cool, I'll come along with that. Okay. Some annotations are useful here. And this is just going to return, this is taking a dictionary. Alright, or no, a string. And returning a string. It's a mapping function. This probably is a constant. Then I wouldn't even need this. That is kind of weird that I did that. So defining a constant. Anyway, I'm not here to second guess myself. It's alright. This is a meeting. This is a page. Generically, wait, isn't it? Or is this a dictionary? Contact dictionary. Because it's coming out of the database. Let's see if that's right. Let's see, why use a fake? It's faster, can run tests in the pipeline with more DevOps configuration. It's also difficult to use SQL Serverlite in memory due to the way the database context is constructed. Yeah, I wish I could use SQLite here in memory database, and but I had to use Postgres, and there's Postgres features. Only one, but an important one that I'm using. A couple of them actually, but nonetheless, yeah. One of the main reasons you use fake data is your data definitions are reusable, so you can kind of reuse them across tests and scaffold or test parameterized tests, for example, using if you're using PyTest, I'm not sure, but you're using C#, so I'm not sure what the testing framework would be. But another one is a GDPR, so privacy. Like we should be minimizing the amount of how data moves around, and encrypting data at rest and not dumping production data or customer data, personal data into our development environments, things like that. So I think for that reason alone, it's good. And then if you put up that firewall not to use production data in any testing environment, even in the cloud servers, you are back to the question of what do we use for our, like our dev environment data. If you've got like a staging or something like that, and you need to end up generating it, and basically these faking packages can be used to generate data and insert it and stuff like that. So I think it's a good practice as you're thinking about mocking and faking. I'm not using it in this project, but I do have some scaffolding functions and set up and tear down in tests. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not really following my own advice so much in this. This is a little, it's not really a hobby project, but it's like, doesn't have the same standards of rigor. And I'm not actually using production data in here so much, aside from we are importing all of the public data, but not users or personally identifiable data. It's a tricky discussion. Yeah, faker. Okay, so that would make sense. Okay, so you're just making, yeah, that makes sense. It could just save you a little bit of hand rolling. I don't know if there's a C# version of Baker, but you're like, just give me a fake name, you know, just give me a fake address. But it is an extra dependency, but it's less overhead in your mind, less mental overhead. Well, let's, yeah, so I've got this. I don't see squiggles. Are there any squiggles? Scrolling squiggles. Actually, I can just look right here. I installed those. Did install those. Mainly, I've got my signatures and returns typed. All right. And then this is imported correctly. Nope. Oh, that's the last step. Handle. And import. Come on. Language server. Help me out. Help me out, language server. Takes 2 checks. First Copilot comes back. I said the wrong name wrong. Yeah, I totally just typoed that. All to heck. There we go. I don't know, I like spaces, kind of like paragraphs. Do that, do that, do that. Celebrate, I could put emojis. I don't know if emojis would work in my terminal. I think so, I think so. Depends on my system fonts, I guess. All right. Keep on trucking. Yes, no more magic mouse for me. I think about it all. What's in there? Whoa, that was cool. That was not what I expected. How do I just kind of do a page down select and not a everything select? Gotta be a way to select vertically by jumping lines. It's probably a Vim shortcut for that. I'm gonna get down here to here and copy, not cut. I was gonna cut all that, but I was like, wait a minute. I need to leave that line. New file. Oh, goodness gracious. Dot. Poo. As we say it in Finland. Poo. Cool. Very nifty. Are you working on any side projects outside of work? Any like open source work you can share? That would be kind of cool. I like talking about open source stuff. That one, and we're going to add one more command parser. Take that line away. My little formatter linter thing will do that for me. Just use my keyboard. Okay, now we're good to go. Now we're going to this file name, equals file name. That's good enough. Let's check it out. Let me get this. A little bit of a stopping point right after I copy the code and pasty. I need to define a function first. Def handle import file name. Returns a none. Dedent save. Boink. Everybody's good to go. Now let's see. Lots of my projects, all but one, are complicated. Images won't load on my Jekyll site. Oh my goodness. Jekyll, what's wrong? Wrong with images. Let's see, are you using LFS? Graveyard, okay, so everything that never took off. A little programming language? What kind of programming language was this? Crafting interpreters, okay, very cool. What was it written in Java? Very cool. That's some heavy duty stuff. Test commit revert. Yes, I was mentioning this at work. If we could check it out. I just don't have any frame of reference to. I'm certainly not going to convince people to do test-driven development unless I have some like real granular, practical way of doing this test commit revert type stuff. Is sounding like a good one, but I need a TLDR for my boomer brain. I don't know. I'm not really a boomer. I'm a Gen. I think I'm a millennial technically. Boomer bot. But I'm starting to feel like a boomer. I don't know if that's possible. Yes. This is cool. Picks the right stock for the win. Very fun. Okay, cool beans. That's just the graveyards, or is there more? Let's see, getting started. Wow, doesn't get started anywhere there. Okay. Interesting. Hey, that image worked. For some reason, the other ones weren't working. Why is this one on a different site or something like that? Probably. Okay, and it's like some lorem ipsum. Very interesting. Oh, yeah. Cool. All right, no need, no worries. That's more than I've got. I don't even have a GitHub page. I should put one of those together. All right. Now the fun stuff. Annotations. So it's an untyped function. We start with our typing. So this is going to get a string. And this is doing the exact thing in the other function. Oh, good. Code duplication. Hopefully that'll pull that into the common utils. Right, a real simple unit test there. What's this? Why is that? Oh. Yeah, so even a bug already in my code, potentially. Oh, but int or none. See, that's the thing, I'm assuming it'll have that. Just raise. Or try catch. Anyway, I'm not here to refactor. I'm not here to fix. I'm here just to show me where these things are wrong. It's just a problem that I won't be able to commit this. If MyPy is complaining, I think we're gonna have some troubles committing these. I'll have to do. It's called no evaluator, whatever it is. Some annotations. And back over here. That's not what I want to do. I want to do just that. Why is my face always itchy? Does your face itch like all the time, just randomly? Dry skin. All right. That's cool. It's just me. Command parser. And tuple. And dictionary. This should be a dictionary of string. Sir. All right, I think we're moving forward. I think that one's back again. Could be a potential bug. I don't like to just ignore these, but this one was weird. It's because like the handle function tells me it's an optional. It's going to get a dictionary of string. So I'm literally just telling MyPy, hey, this is a dictionary of string. It's like right there, and then so this is a string and it will return a string, but MyPy believes it's going to return a dictionary. I don't understand this. It's a dictionary of string dict. So if I grab something by the key, a string key, it's going to MyPy for whatever reason believes it's returning a dictionary. This options is typed string dict, but it's not. I don't understand how that works. Have you seen anything like that? So then MyPy believes this is a dictionary with string because the second argument here is a dictionary with string, but it's not. It's a string. Dictionary, string. Can you make sense of that? I think I'm safe to ignore it. Yeah, that's right. So having progressively evolved these types means there's some quirks in the Python typing ecosystem. Pretty cool though. That's why I'm kind of excited. I'm moving a little bit towards Dart, and I can see the value of some of the compromises it's made to keep things developer friendly, but also having that more strict typing and null safety. Pretty interesting. Hey, Zajam, welcome. Hey, thanks. So you're on a Django learning journey. What are you wanting to build with Django? ZJ, okay, thanks. Hey, welcome to the stream, ZJ. All right, I think we did another one. We just finished one, didn't we? Okay, squiggles. I still have squiggles, didn't get that one. So this one I believe is going to be a dictionary. It's 2 contexts. Squiggles anymore? No more. No more squiggles. Oh, wait. More squiggles. Yes, that's that unsafe one. I'll add type ignore here. I want to come back to that one to do. Yeah. Wow, hey, thanks ZJ, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. It's nice to see familiar names so we can kind of learn more about what everyone's up to. Are you working on any projects, ZJ? Any Django projects I might be able to check out on the stream, on GitHub, for example? I'm going to just tell it to ignore that. I put the stubs there. Installed them in my project. Import events. Now I think I already did that one. And I committed that one. Looks good. Looks good. Import item facets. This is a big one. Maybe I should start learning some Vim key bindings. Vim an official one. Emulation. I don't want to transition necessarily over NeoVim or Vim. I like VS Code for a couple particular reasons that I don't think Vim is going to replace. Such as these deep integrations with GitHub, GitHub Copilot, live share, live collaboration, testing and debugging. I don't want to have to relearn all that. I've got this nice working environment, but I think Vim's got some nice patterns that make you more effective with text editing. I don't know, 5 million looks pretty popular. Sort by popularity, can you do that? Popular. Vim. And Jupyter Notebook support, you know, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Hey, NeoVim. Integration. Interesting. Requires some stuff, though. I like the emulation approach. Alright, see you later, Doda. Anyway, this is an aside. I'm not going to get all up into that Vim mode. Right now, it's just a thought. Yeah, ZJ, I've gotten stuck in Vim a few times, or Vi, like in the shell. I'm always like, how do I get out of here? But yeah, like I'm editing a commit message and it's using Vi. I still don't understand Vi. But at least Vim, I know I can chain a couple of commands, write and quit. Yeah, that's the most common joke. It's annoying though, and it literally still gets me. Even though I know that I can use :Q, but I'll try like :WQ or something like that because I need to save that commit message. Yeah, right? Okay, so that was just kind of a constant. Handle import library item facets. All right, well, got this. Paste. And the only one, let's see, I don't need that. Come to those in a moment. Then I can clean up my imports here. That and that. And we'll need command parser. Parser. That's right. Then we can get rid of this. Mainly, it's like, do you know how I can select downward, like a few lines at a time? Page down. It's a little bit better. Uh-oh. Yeah, page down. So delete that. Okay, yeah, my project structure just changed yesterday, but essentially the Git project is just one flat repository with some project metadata, you know, hidden folders, and then it's just following mostly standard Django conventions. So I've got everything flat, and all of these are Django apps. Each one of them has, like, most of them may have like regular app structure, like database models and stuff like that. I have some docs here, a couple markdown things. The reason for this, everything was in an app folder up until yesterday, but I just refactored the whole project to switch from Poetry to just using pip and pip tools for package management. And I needed to like flatten it in order so that not only the goal was to get my imports working, because VS Code has problems with Poetry imports and detecting Poetry in virtual environments correctly. It's weird. So, and there's been other weird issues with Poetry, breaking things. And so I just got done with that. And then I needed to flatten it so that my CI pipeline would work correctly. It was weird. I just said, okay, I'm just going with it. So flat structure, everything's in the root directory, all the metadata and everything else. Control Shift down for what I'm talking about. Yeah, let me try that. So I'm just like selecting, I got Shift, got Control down. Does that sound not working? Command Shift down? Yeah, the problem was that it takes me to the end of the file, and I'm not wanting to grab all of the file, but that's a good suggestion. What am I wanting to do here? So I'm gonna then just do this. None. That should help you there. And then tuple. Tuple. String, and it is a string dictionary. Alright, so then we're going to... That was not even... Alright, I see here. Let me... The facets is defined. Do I need to... Okay. Yeah, this whole thing is just gonna move. Alright, yeah, that's interesting. I need to rename that, by the way. Amdel is not correct. Yeah, I'm on Mac. But command and control usually are interchangeable. In other words, that I just swap one for the other and it typically works. But yeah, so here's the example. Yeah, it's not a big deal, but if I do a command shift down, it jumps all the way to the end of the file. But like say I want to just grab like from here to 43, you know, like then I was looking for a quick wave, just going down to 43. You know, a few blocks at a time. I think I just had to figured it out a moment ago, but I've already forgotten it. Oh yeah, it was page down. So page down will kind of work. So I can just hit this, shift page down. That's close, and it gets me closer. So yeah, I think I was thinking half a page would be nicer, but yes, very cool. I also run Linux. I've got one computer with Linux and one with Mac, so I kind of dabble in both. And for a long time, I was Linux only. But there's just certain things that I want to do that just really don't work well on Linux, like making music. I've tried for a long time working with open source audio production tools and just really couldn't ever get off the ground and had too many frustrations fighting trying to get things even to work. So annoying. There's just different audio frameworks like Jack and ALSA and stuff, and nothing works together. And even then another one comes along and says, oh, well, we'll fix all the problems with Jack and ALSA, and may or may not do that, and probably introduces its own problems. Oh, thanks. Okay. Well, yeah, I just think we're all striving to be a better version of ourselves, right? Every day. I need to... Oh yeah, rename this anyway. Put the handler at the end so the file names correspond and I can kind of tell what I'm trying to do. But yeah, a lot of the developers at my day job, they're using Mac and various reasons. Mac or Linux typically. This project is a large website with a lot of different features. It has a bookstore with e-commerce, online check out. It's got a magazine area with subscriptions and some content for subscribers only, as well as a deep archive for all the content going back to 1929. It's got a community listing page and memorials of people in the community who've passed away. Really big project. You can check it out here at github.com/westernfriend. See if I paste the link here. I'm not sure. Am I signed in? There you go. Yeah, it's fully open source, so if you're building any similar projects, feel free to use some of the code. I've learned quite a lot. And if you're interested in Django, check out the Wagtail CMS. We're building with this, and it's been a really cool developer experience, and it provides a really top-notch content editor and management experience. Here you go. This is a fun one. Fully open source. Okay, so we're coming along the right corner. I think we got all our little annotations there, and this is good here. I think I can go to the next one. Oh, no, missing my import. But why is it totally ignoring that? Yeah, that's correct, actually. Yeah, cool. Now it's yellow. Some reason these were. And I just need to add my little no. Type ignore. Type ignore. Yo, and then I used this book called Django 4 by example. Now they've written it for Django 4, and all of its source code is open on GitHub. Highly recommend this book. Django by example, edition Django 4. Really thorough, great introductory text, pretty good writing quality, and then having the code on GitHub under an open source license, MIT license, means you can just build that into your project a little bit. You have to adapt things, of course. Okay, here's this one's just doing a whole lot, isn't it? Wow. Okay. I'm getting a bit fatigued. It's just copy paste code today, not so super exciting, but I just want to get through this and then watch my test coverage plummet. Command and then command parser. Then we can grab everything, I think, almost at the end though. Page down. Page down, it's a big one. All the way to the end, okay. Yeah, speaking of awesome, there's also like awesome, you know these, probably awesome Django, awesome Wagtail. These are fun. Anything you're kind of interested in computer science, there's probably like an awesome list that shows you some really cool things people are doing. Oh yeah, that's true. I got the ambient music going in the background. Hopefully it helps relax. This is a relaxing stream. Nice and relaxing coding. Not a lot of rapid fire or puns or other kind of, I don't know, intellectual banter. I suppose it is nice to get off sometimes and discuss, you know, topics relating to programming. But yeah, it's if you're interested in that site, it's generative music site. There's a whole bunch of different themes that you can listen to. I'm thinking about incorporating some other ones in the stream. Okay, so let's see. Drupal author IDs is a string, and then we're doing a library item, which is library item. What is a return? What is a return? Nothing really. I find that kind of music like that, with the ambient and not a lot of patterns in there or whatever, it helps me to just focus and relax. Let's add some trailing commas to make it a little bit easier to read and not have to scroll so far. Okay, so then I need to add this import. So from content migration. Management commands shared net. Yeah, there. Okay, we do have some squigglies. Ignore that. And then we return nothing. Looks good, and then import this. But I need my language server to pick up. When I do type ignore, the language server doesn't pick up on it. That's a bit dangerous. Do I keep typing Hamdel? No, not here. Not in this case. Oh, come on. Don't suggest things where I'm literally typing something different. Am I typing the correct thing? No fuzzy matching here. I don't have an end key. Slow progress, but this should probably test it. And it at least calls the commands. I don't know how I'll test this one. We'll come back to it, but I want this stuff to be visible, so all right. Nope, just library. Pretty good guess though. Handle import library. Then we will write a How's the screen size? Is it pretty, the text size? Is it fairly legible? I've been trying to, oops, good def, DEF, there. Trying to improve the stream quality. It certainly helps my eyes to be able to read it, but I'm wondering if it's still a bit hard to read. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and then the chat on the stream might be a bit hard, but I put it on a little shadowed background. Return to none. I didn't want to just use that whole half of the screen for chat. I think it's still good to have something over here, like the project up, but the code is probably more interesting to see on the left-hand side. Hey, welcome back, Dota. Okay. Oh man, what are you batching it? How big of a query is it? Or are you, it would have a timeout, I would imagine it, or is it a batch query? I think that's it. I think we, wait a minute. Here we go, here. Now this is fuzzy matching. Why are you fuzzy matching? I don't want fuzzy matches. I do not want them. I just want the, oh goodness. Because I can't even read the fuzzy matches. That's correct, I think. And then sometimes they're green, sometimes they're not. I don't get it. Another thing is I'm using this VS Code Insiders thing. Command parser. And there's probably all sorts of weird stuff going on under the hood. But I got this so I could use the ChatGPT, Copilot GPT code companion buddy chat thing. Okay, the query is that slow. 1,500 stock tickers one by one. That's what I'm thinking. This just needs to be a public data set. Why doesn't it exist in the public? What am I using for quick fix? Which? Oh, the this drop down kind of stuff, like your command parser. Like this one is called a language server. If you're using a programming language like Python or JavaScript, TypeScript, C# probably, I don't know. They have these language servers that can kind of inspect your project and all the packages in there and all the modules and functions and class definitions and things, and then start auto-completing stuff. So language server, or LSP, language server protocol. Though, when I hit escape, I go away from the language server into Copilot zone. This one is an artificial intelligence autocomplete, and it does a lot more than that. So yeah, what kind of language are you working with? Basically, here's more information about the language server protocol that does these nice auto completions. Really, really useful. Our tools should be supporting us as much as possible. For Python, you install the VS Code. Python extension is called something. it should automatically suggest you can do this thing, but what is it called? Yeah, this one here. Make sure you've got this extension installed, and that'll do all your language server protocol stuff for Python. VS Code has built-in TypeScript support, so if you're running TypeScript, you should already be good to go. I would be surprised it's not working. And then go check out GitHub Copilot and give it a thought if it's worth it. I've been using it for lots of cool things. This stream is not giving me much opportunity to showcase, like, oops, sorry, oh, no, that was correct, the capabilities, but it is really useful. And in future streams, I will be delving more into it, having it explain code to me, help me refactor code, finding code smells, help me import stuff. It does quite a lot. I've used it also in previous live streams to help me write unit tests. Okay, so this is a tuple. I actually wrote an article about how to use Copilot. And if you're interested in checking it out, I can share the link. I don't want to be too self-promotional. But here's Copilot. It's saying, hey, you probably have a dictionary with string key and string value. So let me just suggest that for you with a little bit of a syntax error. Let me just add a nice little syntax error there for you. I hit space and it tells me it's probably returning none. Then my pie is complaining. I don't care. I don't know. So Copilot saying, hey, you probably just want to ignore that. Let me just ignore that for you. Let me just help you out there. Ignore that type error. I'll back over to multi-stream just to make sure I don't miss anybody on YouTube. Sometimes I see some YouTube visitors. Not a lot. So I kind of came back to Twitch streaming. Just YouTube is pretty empty for live streamers. It's kind of boring, unfortunately. Or at least my live stream. I'm not very popular, so take that with a grain of salt. This returns none. At least on Twitch, I've had some familiar names in the chat and had some fun discussions. Twitch for the win. Although I don't like all the little beeples and boops and primes and all the kind of gimmicks that Twitch is kind of like doing. It's a bit annoying. Like I don't even know, I honestly don't know the names of them, but yeah, I want to get all wrapped up in that. Yeah, I was glad that Twitch kind of gave more first-class recognition for like coders and creative people, artists and other makers, so we have our own little space and can find one another. ZJ, do you ever stream? You ever do any Twitch streaming? I think we're done with this one. I think we're good. That was a very small one. I would like to see that green. It's always a little bit nervous. Making me nervous. Okay, well, what kind of games did you stream? Important magazine article. There we go. Did I paste it twice? No. Sometimes I do that. Pretty competitive at Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, and StarCraft. Hey, very cool. There's this one game I'm really curious to check out, and I can't really play it because A, it would just suck all my time, and I'd rather be spending my time on these live coding, and actually, this is more important work, I think, but it's called Squad. You might have seen that one. Pretty interesting. Command parser. It would be fun. I would really enjoy playing just some squad and getting in there and, you know, having a squad dynamic and following a squad leader and probably playing a medic. I think I would be a medic. And there's even a map in Finland where I live. So what am I, Tupelo here? But I really think, yeah, I got to balance. I only have such scarce time, and I got this project and some other things I'm really interested in making. So I'm afraid that it would be a death knell, or whatever you say. It would just kind of take all my time away. I would just put all my time in squad. Yeah, I'm American in Finland. How'd I do that? Mainly, I'm an import, so I was imported by a Finnish woman. But now I have a son here, so I'm here to be with family. Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, follow whatever you're interested in. It's like, don't feel bad for not. I don't think everyone should be a coder by any means. Not everything is for everyone. There's certainly find your own niche, and if gaming is that, you know, more power to you. I do encourage you to find something that's like more like generative. In other words, a lot of our lives are focused on competition and kind of undercutting other people or winning. The victor's spoils, and I think that's like a narrowing mindset. It really squanders a lot of our time and resources, and I've switched over now to more generative activities like making music and writing software code, that you get these just outgrowths of creativity and collaboration. You know, I'm building on what other people have built and shared, and then people can build on what I'm doing, and it's like serving a purpose. I just didn't find that when I was like playing games and stuff. It was more like my time, you know, was being literally just taken into the game world and wasn't really getting anything in return in terms of like knowledge or maybe community. I was maybe making friends, but yeah, I just didn't receive much. It wasn't like investing in myself. Time is our scarcest resource, right? So we want to invest that. You know, stuff like social media and Netflix, you know, they just suck our time. Their time sinks, and in a way, they're time thieves. They steal our time. Games can be the same thing. If the game is just taking all your time, and like almost an addiction pattern, which is what I found myself in. I was just like really addicted to numerous things, including games. Then it was becoming, it's like life stealing. That's where it becomes unhealthy. And that's where I found myself. And so it took me over 10 years, probably 15 years to like, yeah, maybe almost 20 years now, to shift into a more emergent and generative mindset, and to try to realize that my time is scarce and I need to invest it in places that are going to grow and flourish and promote personal growth and development. Hey, welcome, Black Sheep. Yeah, and I'm not trying to harsh on games because we enjoy playing games. I play games with my son. He's got a Nintendo Switch, so I'm not like saying don't do that at all. But the games we're playing are like curated. I'm helping to like steer him towards some games like Kerbal Space Program, or Juno is another space exploration game. He plays like games like Minecraft and another open source version called Mine Test. We play that together. He plays like Animal Crossing, and a few other ones, these Lego adventure games. So we're like, we're definitely a game-friendly household, but also just conscious of the amount of time that goes into these activities and balancing that with like other hobbies and personal development. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm not even trying to sound preachy as well. I think, again, it's a thing about moderation, and I think if I was like really strict and said no games, that would have the opposite effect. It's like saying no chocolate, and by the time you get old enough to eat chocolate, or you'll sneak around the rules, then you don't have any self-control, and how do you don't know how to select like good chocolate and just eat whatever random chocolate you find, and so I think there's some learning that comes from not completely abstaining, but engaging with these things, with these concepts. There are certain things you should be very careful about, though, in life in general. I'm just trying to name something. File name. Name equals options file. I believe that's what I need here. File name. And I've like certainly done my share of damage to myself through other self-inflicted wounds. Yeah, naming things is hard, isn't it? There's what? How's it go? The other joke. There's like, there's two hard things in computer science: naming things, cache invalidation, and zero-based indexing. All right, then TDQ. Okay, so then now we can just grab everything out here. And then we'll write the handler. Handle import magazine articles. Yep. The file name. That doesn't exist yet. But we'll come here. There's a string, and then it returns none, and then I paste. My brain is getting fatigued just from copying and pasting and then annotating, of course. So if I just dedent that one and I hit save, then my formatter will do it for me. Thank you, tool working for me. Yeah, I might have missed the answer earlier. Black Sheep, what are you, have you doing any open source work or any like, code that I can check out? What kind of software are you interested in building? And ZJ, you were mentioning having some troubles with this, like, language server. What language are you working with? I can maybe help you get your tool to support your work a bit better, because really the more we can get the tools to help us, it makes things less fatiguing, less error prone, you know, accelerates our development process. Hence, you know, I'm adding type annotations and things like that here. Speaking of, let's go ahead through this and say, okay, so this I just have to ignore actually because it is wrong. But I can't fix it. All right, now my language server is running, and MyPy is running in the background. Should be popping up with some stuff soon. Let me come over here and import this in the meantime. Checking, and that be correct. Save that, and if I save this, here's our yellow squiggles back again. All right, and this just needs to be from content import. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I'm interested in, you know, playing some also little casual games, but this is kind of a fun one. It's challenging. It's Juno Origins. We're a Kerbal Space Program household as well. It's a good game, but unfortunately it doesn't run on Mac or Linux. The Kerbal Space Program 2. This is a fun one. It even runs on tablet. Juno Origins on Google, and I think iPad also. All right, what are we doing here? I think, did I have anything open that was interesting? No. Cognitive complexity, yes. That should turn some stuff green. Green, hopefully. Content import. Migration. Green, please. Green and yellow, good. Big fan of Cities Skylines. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I forgot about that. We were playing that too. Really fun. That one is actually made here in Finland. Actually, it was made in the city where I live, and kind of part of the Finnish national game scene. There's this museum called the Finnish Game Museum, or Suomalainen Pelimuseo, that has like a bunch of cool games that were made in Finland. Couple famous ones, including Max Payne and Angry Birds, City Skylines. Zooming in my brain around there, but I can't remember most of them. There's some dirt bike game that's ramping and you do backflips and crash and has blood and gore and stuff. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, GitHub issues basically is just my brain dump where I on the project I just know there's bugs and issues I need to do, and so I just put them in here. And another cool thing about GitHub is since it's like the almost de facto open source software community, there's all sorts of people who are just hanging out on GitHub. And I've tagged some of the issues just yesterday by way of example. I opened like 20 or more issues and I tagged them as good first issue and help wanted. And then some people came along and said, hey, I can take that issue. I didn't post them on Twitter or anything, just by tagging them here on GitHub. So yeah, if you're interested in doing some Django development for an open source project, feel free to grab one of these. The good first issue ones are particularly good because they're small and it's usually relatively easy to complete. And all these ones with these parentheses around them have very specific instructions on how to even fix it. And then oftentimes they're just like one line fix. All right, so annotations now. And this is a integer. Okay, I'm in 2.5 hours in this stream. I'd like to get through this list, but I'm just thinking I'm going to run out of steam and have to do some of it later. Yeah, the issues, well, it was part automated. Something wrote these out for me. There's a tool here called Deep Source that scans your code and looks for all sorts of code smells and problems and even security and vulnerabilities. And it'll say, hey, you've got this problem, inconsistent return statements, problem that, and then here's all the places in your code where it has that problem. And then it just says, hey, here's what it should look like, but here's like a bad example. So basically, yeah, you know, I've been writing this code for a while. I'm learning. There's layers and layers of learning. It's just always you're learning in programming especially, but in any endeavor. So yeah, there's room for improvement. And so these tools are giving me feedback and improving my professionalism and the code quality of this project. So this issue was automatically created by Deep Source. I clicked a button and it created the issue. Need a return value. Do I have any top VS Code extensions? Yeah, my favorites are, like I just installed this VS Code Insiders Edition. I would recommend checking that out, it's good. And the first ones I installed are these. Dart and Flutter, Django IntelliSense because I'm working with Django, Docker because I do have some Dockerized services. I need some TOML support because my what's it called? PyProject.toml, need the syntax highlighting. GitHub Actions I'm using, but really the fun one, I recommend this Copilot if you can get into Copilot. And Copilot chat is really interesting. I can demo that really quickly. Make file support. Most of these are very pragmatic, to be honest. They're not so exciting, but Pylance, because I'm running Python, I need that IntelliSense and language server support. But the fun ones are these Copilot labs. On my other VS Code installation, I've got more like themes and other types of plugins. Let me just show you this Copilot thing though. For example, I've got this really, let me get this annotation real quick. Okay. Well, by way of example, this is a little string. Copilot, you probably know, will write code for you. So I just like hit the space key and it's saying it's telling me what it's gonna return. That was Copilot figuring out my code, like inspecting the code, and then adding the annotation, and it was correct. But like, say I have a really confusing thing. I'm like, what is this even doing? I'll highlight it and I can come over here into the chat and I can say, explain, or there's even like a little command palette. Explain the highlighted code. So yeah, I've got this code highlighted here and it brought it over here and I can say, please explain the code. And it says, here's the explanation of the code above. The article author's variable is a string that contains a list of Drupal contact IDs. The article author's split function splits the string into a list of strings using the comma and spaces as a separator. The for loop iterates over the list of strings. The getExistingMagazineAuthor from DB function will either return an existing magazine author object or raise an exception. If the exception is raised, the except block will run and the loop will continue to the next line from that list. If no exception is raised, the else block will run. In this block, we create a new magazine article author object and add it to the article authors list. So it kind of explains everything in plain English. Pretty interesting. It's like reading the code, but having somebody read it for you, and that's, I think, pretty good explanation. Among other things, then you can chat with it now. It's like, for example, one of the things, I may try this. I'll say like, how do I do a for loop in Python? And like, for example, say I want to loop over a bunch of things, and it'll say in Python you can create a basic for loop using the for keyword as follows: for variable and iterable, and blah 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 blah, and it gives you a code example. This is pretty cool. It's like almost having your own Stack Overflow right in your IDE. That's a good output. Yo, Deep Source. Yeah, it's a great plugin. If you're into these types of code automation tools and your project is open source, so you can save a bit. Oh, my maintainability dropped like heck. Oh man. I recommend the Code Climate and Code Cove as well as Deep Source. They will give you some insights into many ways that you can improve your code quality. Here's our, for example, Code Cove report for Western Friend, and you can just see exactly what lines I need to go through and add coverage for. Yeah, and then here's our Code Climate, and it's mainly relating to test coverage. My test coverage is really bad now that I've been, especially now that I'm exposing all of these. So that's the main. Otherwise, we're pretty maintainable. We just have really abysmal test coverage. I think the maintainability rating drops down when your test coverage drops. Makes sense. You're not testing things. Your project's you're probably setting yourself up for all sorts of pain. Hence, why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this. So I think we're good to go on this. Let me just close that chat doohickey there. Copy, don't see any squiggles. Squiggle there, it's because it's confused. Got the import. Not turning green and yellow, but whatever. This is a big one. This is a complicated one. Needs lots of testing. I guess it's not so bad. Handle, all right, import magazine authors handler. And basically all those imports except base command. Then I put the base command back over here and add the command parser. Thank you, GitHub Copilot. Thank you, my code formatter, for doing the auto formatting. All this stuff the IDE will automatically format your Python code using black, so you don't have to worry about too much of those little details. That's a nice touch. Command parser, all these things add up to, you know, good developer experience and making your code higher quality. Let's see. Now I need to add type annotations. Meeting. And returns. What does it return? I don't even know what it returns. Let's see if we can get a no scope from Copilot. So let's see if Copilot helps us out here. Sometimes it's a bit sometimes it's a bit choosy about how it'll help out. Other times it just works. And we had trailing commas to make things a little bit easier to read vertically. Just scan the page straight down and not have to like go so far left and right. That's a dictionary. And this is a person index page. Sometimes Copilot's better than the language server, interestingly. My language server is also a bit slow lately in this VS Code Insiders edition. This is an iterable. List of dictionaries. What does it return? You don't have to even scroll down there. Copilot's able to go down to the bottom and figure out based on the code what's going on, and notices there's no return statement. Oh, I think we're good there. I don't see any other squiggles except this, which I just need to ignore. Port magazine, apartment handler. Dedent that. Okay, good. Not understanding how people are building things with GPT-3 or 4. I've given it a few things in the past to see how far it would get without me modifying anything. Most of those attempts resulted in crashing or just not wanting to run at all. Yeah, I've had a similar experience, particularly with GPT-3, but GPT-4, you know, it seems to have overall better quality. But I think the main thing I had to realize is that these tools are iterative. They're assistants, and it's kind of like having a co-pilot there with you. You're going to do most of the piloting, and it's an iterative process. You need to work with it and work with the output and suggest improvements, test it and say, oh, there's a bug. Can you fix this line of code? Or the output is not behaving this way. Can you change it? But one example, I was able to, with unit tests, so this Copilot is I'm putting this Copilot in the same group as GPT, is a large language model tool. Well, actually, specifically with GPT-4, I was able to say, I have some input in this shape, and I gave an example of the input, and I would like to get the output in this shape. Can you write a function that does that? And GPT produced a function that pretty much did that. But the request was kind of complicated, so I just said, hey, I would actually like it more nested or some specific change. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, that's correct. And with that feedback, it rewrote the function, and basically it worked. So the long short of it is that we need to just peer review anything that humans or computers are writing and make sure it's doing what we're expecting it to do. Yeah, maybe a basic website and simple Python scripts. Yeah, so it's real good with unit tests. But even refactoring large functions, like I passed it in a function and it kind of it suggested how I could refactor it. So it was like able to parse it and understand at a conceptual level what the function was doing, based on my naming conventions and stuff like that, of course. But even suggesting ways I could decompose the function into smaller units and use those and write with those. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so it's basically they're iterative tools. They're getting better, but it doesn't seem like they're going to just be something you can say, hey, write me an app that does this. I think you'll still have to kind of understand how well, at least project management works, and probably a little bit about how code works, so that we can suggest modifications and read and understand the code. I think we're pretty good. We got a little import error there. And we're missing an import here, but since I added that, my language server is also not helping me out. Yeah, you got a question with VS Code. I want to push a change to a branch, but not any other changes. How would I do that? Well, you would commit only that change. Have you already committed that? Or essentially, you just got to be selective about what you commit, so that you can push. Another technique is called cherry picking. You can cherry pick specific commits into another branch and push that branch up. I don't use this one much at all, so like I'm not sure if that'll be what you're after, but you can also ask ChatGPT. Let's try that real quick. So if you don't mind, I'll just paste this into ChatGPT. Is that cool? Just to see what or Copilot, see what Copilot chat thinks. Might have a different idea. All right, cool. I'll just paste your exact question there. To push a specific commit. All right, to push a specific change to a branch in Git using Visual Studio Code, you can follow these steps. Open the Git panel by clicking on the Git icon in the left-hand sidebar, which is like here, source control. Click on the dot button to open Git Actions menu. Dot, Be here, get actions. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Lots of actions. I didn't even know about these. I sort of have seen those before. Click on the staged changes to view the changes that are staged for commit. Ah, so this is assuming you haven't committed those. Click on the plus button next to the change that you want to commit to stage it. Okay, so this is basically now just telling us how to run like staging and committing. So I think it sort of missed the question there. I think you already know how to stage files based on your question, and you've probably already committed them, and you're wanting to somehow selectively push to a remote. So in this case, if my understanding sounds correct, this would be the wrong answer. To push only a subset of your git commits to a git remote, you can use git push command with head and the uptick operators to specify the range of commits that you want to push. So a range would be sequential, probably not like cherry picking. For example, if you have made 3 commits and you want to push only the first 2, you can use the following: head, uptick, uptick. The head, uptick, or what do we call that thing? What is that thing called? Echelon or something like that. Specifies the second to last commit, and the colon operator specifies the range of commits to push. Interesting. The branch name is the name of the remote branch that you want to push the commits to. If you want to push a range of commits that is not at the end of the branch, you can use the commit hashes instead of the head and upticks. So that might be a way you can specify the commit range. And I suppose you could then just, if they're not in a range, you just push the specific commits. Like that might work too. So just run that a bunch of times on the individual commits. What do you think? That might be easier than cherry picking. I think I can like copy this whole thing. I don't know. So that was, in this case, I think it's given a bit better result. The commits to, if you want to push commits to, but pasting into Twitch didn't really work. That's a big blob. But did you get the premise of this? Or I can push the, here's the, this is probably the most useful part. I'll just paste these. That's probably the one you're after. Yeah, cool. So yeah, I learned something from Copilot, but that's another key example though that I didn't mention earlier is we'll get the output we get from these models is, you know, proportional or relating to the quality of the input we give them. So sometimes if I ask just a very simple question, sometimes I'll get a surprising output, surprisingly elaborate, and I can build on that. But if I start adding a little bit more context and keywords, then the output becomes much more nuanced and tailored to my request. But I think that's the same thing with these, you know, Copilot large language model in the context of our code. We have all this surrounding code and imports and things like that that are kind of feeding the model with the context and the situation, and it's able to give a lot more tailored result. And here I just had to use a more differently worded question, I would say, because for some reason, like my brain was able to understand what you meant, but the Copilot brain didn't quite get the context, and it took a very literal interpretation about how to stage changes. It didn't, yeah, so So that's just kind of one of my realizations in working with these models. I have to use very specific words for things and kind of change the way I'm asking it, and I'll get a different response. I guess they generally call this prompt engineering. It's like, how do you prompt the thing to get a good output, and how do you improve the output with different prompting techniques. I wrote a brief article on this, I mentioned earlier, on specifically GitHub Copilot prompt engineering, how to get better results from GitHub Copilot. It's freely available on dev.to. It's another really good website to check out if you're getting into development. Okay, I think we're, it's 3 hours, 3 hours. I can probably go for another 45 minutes. I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. All right, we'll power through this a bit. Well, hey, Black Sheep, thanks for the follow, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. I think I saw that. Yeah, thank you. So I hope to see you around the stream some more. It's good to have familiar names and interesting conversations. Okay, so all these yellow ones we've pretty much completed. I just need to get through a couple more. Just these. This is all just so that I can get my tests coverage analysis to pick up on this code and realize that I have no test coverage here, and I can then have a really bad maintainability score and really low test coverage. That's what I'm after. I'm just trying to get this actually just to reflect more the reality of my project. There's some hidden but untested code that's really important code, and I want to get this under test. All right, so it's 3 hours in. I think if I do one more hour, I should be well done within the next half hour. But then I can also get the test thing to ping my coverage. There's one more step I have to do after I get these ported over. We'll handle it. We'll get through it. So did I just do that one? No changes here. All right. So let me just reset my brain for a moment. I'm just going to close this and see where I'm at. That one is clear. Got a handler there. Magazine issues. Okay, this is where we're at. It's a lot of moving parts, but I think when I do these really big repetitious things, if I break it down and do the same movement over and over, and then do the next same movement over and over, like a factory assembly line, more or less, but everything is queued and waiting for the next step. So you just gotta wait for this whole queue to process, then the next step process. It helps me to avoid mistakes rather than trying to do the whole factory line for each file. That's my strategy here. So it's repetitious, but the repetition helps my brain. But even here, I'm kind of mixing up things. I'm adding type annotations. I'm refactoring a little bit. So I kind of want to keep the operation simple. Like a function. You have functions that do mainly one thing. Try to do one thing at a time, basically. And right here, I need to grab this file name. This is the main deal right here. That way, simple things are easier to understand and easier to keep in your mind. File name, options file. Great. Everything else, I can come down here all the way to the bottom. Good. And there's going to be a function called handle. Whoops, that was correct. But I'm not going to put this type ignore on there because I want to help me with the import in a moment. Although I'll have to add that type ignore back. So. String colon. String is none. There's a little bit help. And pasty. And dedent. And I don't know if there are functions, so not too bad. And I'm not gonna do too much refactoring here, but I already see some room for improvement here. Now I should have language server support to get this import correct. And we have some squiggles here. What's going on? Help. Now we're good. I have to add that type annotation back there. There we go. Do you have a link to the Copilot article? I was just about to walk out over mentioning. Yeah, sorry, let me get that real quick. Oops. If you're still here, I'm sorry if you're not here. And name. Click my name. There it is. It's a bit, just some practical advice based on working with this. And it's just a way of prompting and giving it the right information to get a better result. Very cool. It was co-written, co-authored by GPT. Yes, but again, you can't just say, GPT, write me an article and get an article out. You have to just iterate on that article. So here's the premise. What would be a good outline? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's add this. And can we generate a little more detail? That's great. Here's the tone of voice I want to use. Here's the intended audience. Let's add a joke about this and then stuff like that. And then it responds. It's fun. It's an interesting process. I should actually publish the transcript somehow to show the whole process. Publishing. There's definitely a human in the loop. Okay. No, wait a minute. This has got some. Oh yeah, missing annotations there. There we go. So the bright yellow, I don't want to see. That bright yellow is saying, hey, check these out. Something's wrong. All right. So next up. This is a meta command. It just calls other commands. Nonetheless, there's some stuff happening that may be good to test, so I'll just run it into a handler. Good deal. Thanks. I'll let you know if I come across any. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. As an AI language model, that's really interesting. Having it take on role. Yeah, sure. I'll be glad to see any resources that you find as well. Have a good day. Hope to see you around again. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, look at this. It kind of figured it out. That's really interesting. Now, I'm not sure that that's correct. I just want to double check that. It's not quite, but it was a good guess. Let me rename this. So I have the function is handle. This is a verb phrase, but the name is a noun. It's right. I mean, I think it got most of the calls correct. It's just not exactly correct. All right, this time it didn't. Oh, there it goes. It just ran a little bit slow. Okay, so then this does take a data directory. There we go, and then get that import. There it goes. Looks good. And returns none. Problem, there's some problems here. Command parser. Add these annotations here. String, that's good. And it should return none. And good. No more yellow brick road. Ah. Now it turned green. Oh! Just this is... Need to add that. Type ignore. So close, so close. Oh, there's the command right there. Oh yeah, it did have one character missing. Import meeting document handler. Don't want to ignore yet, because I want that help with that import, although I can probably just... really close. Really close. To stage 1 complete. I also need to get something for dinner. Pretty soon. It's not quite dinner. Not quite dinner time. Oh man, we still have some squiggles. TQDM1. I imported it. I did add it to the project. That's a string. Optional string. Well, it basically should raise value error, but I'm again not here to refactor so much or change functionality that is. I'm here to literally refactor and so that the stuff is more visible, but not that would be changing the behavior. I think this will be my stopping point. I'll wait. The scaffolding initial content, I will wait for that one just to make sure these all shake out. In fact, I probably should have. Yeah, this is good. That's a huge one, scaffolding initial content. I'll probably just write a test directly against that. I don't think I could break it down. Half of this is I want to be able to decompose these into smaller functions so they're easier to test, but that one is big monolith, and it probably would be easier to just to test the output, the database structure it creates. What's for dinner? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't have anything here. I have to run over to the grocery store and get something, but I'll get something convenient probably today. Maybe like sushi. Sushi sounds good. Like the grocery store sushi. Nice, cool. What do you, yeah, so it's cool just to be chilling and have some nice ambience. Oh, okay, you're in a development hell. Yeah, I'm hoping I can help you in the front lines there to have some coding companionship, even if you're not writing on the same code base. It's cool to have somebody fighting on a common flank, on a common front, fighting different battles, but nice. All right, so then this import pages, I just need to follow that whole process, right? Resetting my brain just like changed to channel, and I got to get back on what channel I was watching. This one's not so bad. Sushi, yeah. Let's have sushi night. Heck yeah. Grocery store sushi. It's actually from a sushi place in town, and then they have some contract with the grocery store where they deliver the sushi. I don't know how it works, but it's pretty good. You know, not like getting it at the store, at the restaurant, but it's yummy. Yep. Okay. Brain is like at overload. I will have to like stop after this, I think, because my brain is so like struggling right now. And I'll regroup my brain cells, have some sushi, and then I'll come back for a little bit more. I think I might have time tonight to get these tests. Okay, thanks. Yeah, trying to engage, and yeah, it's important. Like we're talking to each other. It's nice to have somebody chatting with you and engaging with you and stuff like that. Also, the code's here too, so it helps me, like, you know, when I would like to think or respond, it's helpful to like look away from the code for a minute. So I got the file name, and the handler just does all this. Good. Let me grab my imports. I'm totally losing the thread here. My brain's slowly unraveling. Import pages. Handler. Do you feel that? Do you feel like brain burn, brain fatigue after an hour, sometimes even a half hour of coding? What's your threshold on average? It's hard to say, but I think like depending on the task, it depends on the task, but like even like 30 minutes or an hour straight of writing, for example, unit tests, I start to be like, my eyes are blurry and my brain's like, what am I doing? That's why I'm really leaning heavily on these tools like Copilot and language server protocol. And even the code formatter to like fix my mess. Solid 45 hours. Yeah, I think with breaks, especially if you do like the Pomodoro technique and just take a break every like 25 minutes or something, which I'm not quite doing here. I'll start maybe putting a little Pomodoro timer on this stream. Then it's easier to go for sustained periods. Down. For a moment. Should return none. Relatively small one. Need to do more breaks for sure. Don't recognize the burnout and try to get through it. Super unhealthy, yeah, for sure. And that burnout can bite you. It adds up. So yeah, definitely, yeah, be aware of it. I wonder how we can kind of make ourselves more sensitive to it. Because sometimes we just don't even notice. Like stuff like even like, I don't notice my body's like getting really thirsty and I'm just dehydrating myself and then stressing myself, maybe over caffeinating, all these things, and kind of just really tuned out of how I'm feeling. Do I have a stream schedule? You have a lot of steam working, so you don't get burnt out too fast. You have a lot of like power and fortitude in your streaming. That sounds good. Yeah, and that's a youthful quality as well. My stream schedule isn't sort of set, usually in the mornings though, and over the summer I'm trying to stream probably about almost every day because this project is like been under development for 5 years, and we really are at a point where if we can't launch the project this year by like August, we're gonna have to like put it down. It's literally just time, do or die time for this project. So I'm really gonna take a month off of my day job, and we're in a summer holiday type of thing, and just this project will be my day job. I'm going to get the code quality up to standards. I want to get test coverage. I want to make sure the importers work. We're trying to find if there's any features we've forgotten, but I think we're pretty close to feature complete. But until we get visibility and people testing it, we don't really know with much certainty. So yeah, I'm trying to do probably a daily thing, usually mornings, Eastern European time, but maybe mornings and evenings. I'll see how it balances out. And I could be doing extended sessions, like for multiple hours through the day. It'll be my day job over the summer. That's the plan. You've quit caffeine for the past 2 to 3 months. Definitely took a heavy hit, but slowly coming back from it. Hey, I should think about that. Although the morning, I only drink caffeine in the morning now, not after like 12 or 1 or 2. And it's sort of like the reason I get out of bed is to have a cup of coffee, almost a thing. So it's in a way a good motivator, especially if I'm going to try to get up around like 7 or 8 in the morning. The coffee is the only thing that's probably dragging me out of bed at that time. Except my son, he's like early morning or early guy, and he needs breakfast, especially before school. So that's an easy thing to get motivated to get out of bed for. Make sure he's doing well and I see him off to school. Okay, I think we did it though. I think we're through with this session, this segment, and I need to take a break and maybe can come back a little bit later. This is the last thing right here, so handle import pages file name, get that import correctly here in the environment. I'll commit, I'll push all these changes up, and let's see if it's the first one I can't read right now. And we should have some squiggles coming up here in a minute, so I'll just preemptively tell to ignore them. I'm gonna stage and commit everything and push it up. I've got some tests written there. Quite a lot, 41 files changed and some added. I don't even know, this is just... more or less that. Yes. Try to show more. Oh yeah, I do have a YouTube. It's posting. Sorry, YouTube. But yeah, the Twitter. It's posting to Twitter when I go live. I'm on Twitter at BrileyO. So it always posts my live stream there. Using your dad in Laos right now. Well, our time's at 8 p.m. Yeah, so pretty close. Normally from California. Okay, cool. I lived in California for a couple of years. So if I stream around... Okay, so... I can stream around this time or a little bit earlier in Laos. Maybe like... 6 p.m. And then the earliest I'll be on would be around 10 a.m. Oh wait. So, dude, time zones are so, my brain on time just doesn't work. Sorry. Yeah, I don't have a schedule. I should post one, and I can't so really think of what the commitment would be outside of my time zone right now. I've got, this thing is complaining. It's reformatted. Hopefully there's not a lot of errors. But let me just zero in on this error. 4 hours ahead of me, so like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, and like literally I could have done the math there because I have a clock in your words there, but my brain is just so dead right now. Yeah, so around anywhere from 12 p.m. your time to probably this time would be good. Yeah, it's a full 8 hours, and I'll try to put in 5 hours or so a day on this project intermittently throughout the day. All right, so we do have some unexpected token. Okay. Wish I could just jump to that, but here's a good way of doing this. And then I get these little clickable links. Very cool, yeah. And if yeah, I'm glad to be sort of your background noise. That's kind of cool. And I'll try to like just talk about what I'm doing in general and explain it to myself as well. Helps me understand what the heck am I trying to do. All right, so this was a syntax here. Of course, annotating that was a mistake. And then I think this is the same. And I'm gonna get rid of that error and see if I can get some more here. Not too bad. See these, I can click and it jumps me right to that line. Line too long. Okay, yeah. No QA that. Oh man, but these are bad. Anyways, use the source control in VS Code. I do normally here, but the thing is I've got these pre-commit hooks that are like running a bunch of scans on all my files. So they're running when I commit, but their output comes out in the text. And normally if I'm using VS Code, all I get is this text file. It's not interactive. So it just shows me blah, 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 blah. This is what happened. Yeah, emoji. But here, if I actually run the git command from the terminal, then these are all interactive. I can hold command and click and go straight to that line. That was alt. So I jump to that line of code and it shows me, hey, you got a problem here. This is an unannotated something. Oh, missing the annotation there. And some of these should be actually visible here. I'm not sure why. Oh, yeah. Got some annotation issues here. What is it? Here it is. Name me. Typing error, spelling error. Yeah, these are, it's called pre-commit, and it's a bunch of things that help me. Again, the tooling should really accelerate our development and support us, you know, taking care of low-level details for us automatically. So these are doing things like fixing lint, trailing white space, looking for large files, making sure I'm using up-to-date language features, the latest Python language features, making sure the latest Django features, making sure my code is not linty, making sure I'm using the right types of everything. It's doing a whole bunch of stuff for me. Okay, so this is a file name. This is that one, I just ignore. That. Unidentified name handle import magazine authors, so I just completely spaced this one. Because of that, I didn't get the squiggles. Now I need to add those back in again so I don't get the squiggles again. And I'll command L to clear that out, and I'll just run this. So every time I commit, this pre-commit runs. If you're using Python, I highly recommend this pre-commit. It has support for some other programming language in frameworks, but it's coming out of the Python scene. So most of the pre-commit plugins, the supported hooks they call them, it's essentially just using git hooks, which a git hook is just something that anytime git runs, this will execute some kind of code before it runs or after, or called hooking into it, or in general hooks are like in event systems where you have lifecycle or pre and post things that happen. You can write some code that hooks into those pre and posts. And they got a ton of different hooks, all sorts of them, many. I don't even want to go too much into it, but it's got some built-ins that are handy for like checking your AppSec syntax tree or prettifying your JSON or TOML, parsing and validation and sorting your imports and your YAML. It's good. Yeah, I can definitely get lost in it. But again, you got to come back up for air, and you got to just put it in place and make sure it's useful and helpful for you, and accelerating your work, producing higher quality output. It's basically making your life easier and more professional. So here, most of these are passing now, only a couple of failures. It also is just like another pair of eyes, another like 8 or 10 sets of eyes that are just like looking all through my code and stuff that is really easy for me to do wrong. What is wrong here? Oh, the super long line one. Sometimes I'll tell it, no, actually I don't mind that. Okay, and here I just read that. Yeah, so it's saying, hey, you want to be consistent with your type annotations. So there's one place that you missed one. So then I can stage all those. Actually, I forgot to stage them, so let's stage everybody. Now if I commit, I can now commit here in VS Code because I think I've handled everything. It'll just go. If any of the pre-commits fails, it'll block the commit and wait for you to fix them. That's the nice thing. It won't let you go forward unless you say no verify. If you just absolutely want to go forward, you can. But it's like a safety net. It's taking a bit because it's running all those. Okay, so here's an example. When I do it in VS Code, it says, oh, there was something with my YAML or something failed. So I'll say, what failed? Okay, there was a failure there. And let me just run it here because then I can just click the line. I'm lazy. I like to click things. Close all of these out so I'm not too... Oh my goodness, a lot of them actually. And this handler... Yeah, I have to ignore that. Type ignore. This one. Missing annotation. No. Let me just put this to the side here. This text needs to be a bit bigger. List expects given 2. And come back to that one. Actually, the typing ignore needs to go here. And this is just an annoying thing. None has no attribute append. Okay. This is dangerous code. I'll type ignore that, but so this type safety stuff has really given me more confidence that I'm handling all the edge cases as well. One more. We're almost there. Line too long. Really trivial one there. Huh. Well. Oh yeah, this is no QA one. No QA. Oh, my pie. No QA. E501. Keeps us not lazy. That's right. That's true. And sometimes we out lazy ourselves and we end up introducing all sorts of pain. Oh, I told that to ignore it. Why didn't that ignore it? Why did Oh, you know why? Because I'm not staging these. I have to fix them and stage the changes, otherwise it keeps running on the same files. Boy. Because this is the interesting thing. Pre-commit runs only on the staged commits. You can also tell it to run on your whole file and fix a bunch of things at once. But it's only running on the things you're about to commit. So you can do a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. And is this E501? That's I just hadn't saved it. Alright, saving it now. Okay, cancel that. Closing that. Don't save it. Open it. Save it. Do you literally have to put it on? That makes sense. It's because it's on multiple lines. I don't know what I was doing. I put it on like the... Anyway, okay. I'm a brain fart. Alright, now what's this one telling me? List expects. Okay. The line 26. This is a string. And I'll put the string. And then nice little syntax error. Page those, rerun it one more time, just helps me to narrow it down. Yeah, and you started trying to type in my VS Code. Alright. Oh, this is important. There's that, and then this. It's a bit of a mystery one here, but let's take a look. Alright, list expects 1, but 2 given. Okay. Let's try it again. Let's see if maybe... There we go. That time Copilot got it. Stage these changes. Now we should be gravy. Cancel. I can run it here, but I think I can just now commit it in VS Code. Okay, now we're at 3 hours, about 45 minutes. So this is really a good time. I can just... Hopefully this will run. I can take a break, reappraise the situation. Yes, push this up to GitHub. So yeah, if you're wanting to follow along just for the heck of it, and we'll see what the CI says now. I've got some other contributors opening code in the meantime. Wow, very cool. And our CI is broken. I gotta fix this. But nonetheless, here's the pull request. 1,000. Wow, look at this pretty massive amount of code I'm moving around, just refactoring those. The delta is about equal. It's about canceling each other out. Introducing a few more lines though, because I'm wrapping these in functions. But here's the pull request, nonetheless. Very cool. I've got to take a break. This has been another open source live code hangout. Today we've been working on a big refactoring task to break out some of our code into functions that'll allow basically the code analyzers to run and make sure we have unit test coverage and things like that. The way the code was defined previously, the coverage reporting tools couldn't see it because it wasn't quite being imported in a way as a normal runtime code would have been. The progress so far has just been to move things out. The next step will be to take a look at wrapping these functions in basic unit test semantic where it just makes a simple assertion that they're all callable. At that point, we should start getting test coverage reporting. But nonetheless, this has been a long session, so I'm ready to take a break. Thank you to ZJ for coming along and hanging out. I've had a great time chatting with you. It's nice to have friendly people and people who are fighting similar battles on different fronts. Black Sheep, thanks for stopping by and saying hello. Thanks for the subscribe. The follower, what's the difference? I'm not sure on Twitch, sorry. Okay, so this has been another live code session, and I'm wrapping up, so. Okay, well, I hope you're doing well out there, and have a great day. See you around the stream.